All right, enough Arsenal. How about some quick hits
Let's
instead?
go, Gab.
Now, Jules, the last time Atletico Madrid put 5 past Real
Yeah.
Madrid in La Liga, man had not yet been to the moon. Alfredo Di Stefano had not yet been to Spain.
Yeah.
Elvis Presley was too young to drive.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Jules, I think this requires some love for El Cholo Simeone after this incredible 5-2
Absolutely.
beatdown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in a way, finally, we can say, finally, he's used all those resources, all that talent that he had to the best effect.
It sounds like a bit like a backhanded compliment.
No, it's just I think he read this very well. He still knew that this Real Madrid team was there for the taking because they hadn't been that great despite the perfect start in the league. Certainly, there was that right hand side for Atletico, so the left hand side for Real Madrid to exploit massively, which they did so well. And again, Giuliano and Llorente are just amazing players when they're in that kind of mood. And also everything they did worked. They scored early, even when they conceded once and then twice, they stayed in the game, and then they just destroyed them. That second half performance from Atletico is one of the best I've seen this season. Any team, any league, any competition combined.
And by the way, shout out to Julien Alvarez as well. Obviously, there was rumors of John Happy being taken off. The dude scores a hat trick and then follows up with another tremendous performance.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. And obviously, disappointment for Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso, who says they will learn from this and come back stronger. Well, up next is a long flight to Kazakhstan to face Kairat Almaty in the Champions League. He will have plenty of time to think about what went wrong.
Yeah, and so much went wrong. And
Yeah.
it's funny because people talk about the players let him down. They didn't have enough intensity, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But he's the coach. This is part of his job.
Completely.
And I refuse to believe the players that have won the Champions League and whatnot are in this situation in a derby against Atletico Madrid, and they say, "Oh yeah, let's be less intense. Let's go and save ourselves for the long trip to Kazakhstan." I think Xabi Alonso has to bear some responsibility. And I think he would take the
Completely. It's on
responsibility.
him.
Starting Jude Bellingham again.
Wrong.
The
We
guy's
told
just
him.
back from injury.
We told him
not
not
in
to.
that role.
Yeah.
Chouameni, I thought really struggled, but it's not up to him because Valverde was a ghost in this game,
terrible.
right? Vini did his disappearing act, although he was really, he served up a wonderful
cross
assist.
for
Was really
Bruno.
good for at the beginning. You cannot go through the game with 2 shots on target. And while people are going to, complain about the defense, and obviously if it's Asensio and Carreras and Heisen, they're young and inexperienced. But by the same token, these are good players.
I mean, Houston's performance is the worst I've seen individually this season. It was just a disaster class. It was shockingly bad. Like, Houston is a good player, but this is just, I promise you, I've never seen something like this season.
We're going to learn a lot about him and the character he has by how quickly he bounces back and how quickly Xabi Alonso is, feels ready and empowered to chuck him back out there. And for me personally, I would give him a whole week off. I would not send him out there against Kairat just in case the unthinkable happens.
Yeah.
Hansi Flick sends out most of the B team, no disrespect to Rooney Bargi, Wojciech Szczesny, and purported wunderkind Dro Fernandez.
Yeah.
And it's enough to come from behind and that's what they had 2-1. Jules, what does this tell you?
Well, it tells me that there's a bit of depth still, even if, Dro Fernandez will need a bit of time in that midfield position to get to the level of the other ones.
He played 1 4th division game, and that's it.
And that's it. And Rooney Bargi was a kind of wonder kid when he was younger in Denmark.
So
but
was Lamine
again-
Yamal, and he's still young.
Lamine Yamal, who came back, by the way. And she just, in the half hour he was on the pitch, to destroy Real Sociedad. On his second touch, set up the second goal for Lewandowski with a great cross. There's a nutmeg where it's a flip-flap into a nutmeg. I mean, it's just unreal. After 2 weeks off, what he can still do coming back, which is scary for my PSG team, who obviously traveled to Barcelona on Wednesday night, which would be exceptional. But yeah, good win. I think in the first half, Real Sociedad had 14% of the ball. I don't even know how is that it's possible, 14% of the ball. But
Ramiro made some absolutely huge
incredible.
saves. I thought this was actually a lot more comfortable for Barcelona,
Yeah,
despite
it
the
was.
fact that at the end you can see that they hit the woodwork.
Yeah,
and so it
Kubo,
could have been
yeah.
2-2, whatever. But no,
it was really good. And Joan
really
Garcia's
convincing.
injury, though, is bad. And it's 6 weeks, I think, or 8 weeks. So that's a long one. So just hope Wojciech is in good form, Christian Pulisic is on the mark again as Milan hang on to beat Napoli 2-1 despite playing the last half hour with 10 men after Estupiñán got sent off. Gab, 4 wins and 4 clean sheets now for Max Allegri. And what did Antonio Conte have to say about Kevin De Bruyne looking grumpy?
Okay, I'll deal with that first. He took off De Bruyne and McTominay with 20 minutes ago, which seems really counterintuitive to me when you're chasing the game. De Bruyne looked like he was talking to himself. They asked Conte about it afterwards, and he said he said something like, "Well, I hope he was angry because we were losing the game. If he was angry about anything else, he's picking the wrong fight." So warning shots fired. I don't think
definitely.
this De Bruyne is too mature for
To
that.
be expected.
I am not on the Milan bandwagon. Look, Pulisic's
why?
fantastic. Because you go 2-0 up, right? And I'm interested in Pulisic made it 2-0, minute 31, right?
Yeah.
Between minute 31 and when Estupinan, living up to his last name, stupidly gets sent off, it's 11v11.
Yeah.
In that time period, Milan did virtually nothing. And you're 2-0 up at home.
Yeah, but that's Allegri still. So
But
you
it's
kind
not
of
the way
manage.
you're going to get better. And
No,
people are
I
like,
know.
oh, look, Rabiot. Oh, look, they're so balanced. Oh, Modric.
Rabiot was good.
That's fine, but it's so negative. I did 0.00 XG in the second half.
Yeah,
and
but
it wasn't 10v11 for the entire second half. I think you play this way, you can only get so far. Mark my words.
Yeah, maybe. And Magic Mike was amazing. Magic Mike made some big saves.
Magic Mike saved their backside.
Yeah.
Xavi Neres hit the post even at the end. I mean, come on. Plenty of rotation for Paris Saint-Germain too in the 2-0 win over Auxerre. The backup center backs, Lucas Beraldo and Ilya Zabarny, get it done, Jules. But now y'all are threatening on Kvichek Kvaratskhelia and Vitinha. Both of them had to come off early. They're basically the only two starters who start, and are they going to be fine?
I don't know. So thank you to the Club World Cup to start with.
Oh, yeah, keep blaming everything on the
Thank
Club
you,
World Cup.
FIFA, and thank you,
Yes,
Gianni, Infantino. So for Vitinha, it was a weird one because he set up the goal with a wonderful pass. You talked about the Zubimendi pass earlier. It's kind of a similar one in a way. Doesn't look injured at all. Then comes off after 35 minutes, and I'm like, was this planned in a way? Once you break the deadlock against a team like Auxerre, who play with everybody behind the ball and everybody in their box, and then you 1-0 up, and you know now that you're going to be okay, or not? It took him off. It should be fine for Barcelona. Kvaratskhelia, we're not sure. It was more behind his for his hamstring. We see, but yeah, it's not good for sure. And it was way back on Friday, but Bayern destroyed Werder Bremen 4-0. Gab, I wanted to ask you about Tom Bishop in midfield, rare appearance, but we have to talk about Harry Kane first.
Well, Bischoff is a boss. I'll deal with him first. Yeah. Bischoff, Kimmich, you're sorted, and then Pavlovic to come in. Honestly, the kid's for real. Harry Kane, 2 more goals, 100 goals in 104 games, eclipsing Cristiano Ronaldo,
and
accepting that Erling Haaland fella. I don't know what to say. The guy, like a fine wine.
3 draws in a row, for Igor Tudor and Juventus, Gab. Juan Cabal saves them 12 minutes from time.
So they were playing against Atalanta. I don't think they played badly at all. Agree. And yet Tudor's getting stick because some Juve fans can only think about results. I think one issue he has, though, is, and you have to just remind how poorly constructed this team is. You have 3 center forwards, Jonathan David, Vlahovic, and Lois Openda. He seems to be intent on rotating them. Dude, play one of them behind alongside Ken and Yildiz, and you're sorted. And all you got to worry then about is your back 3 in your midfield. Wild stuff in Mönchengladbach, Jules. Eintracht Frankfurt goes 6-0 up 2 minutes after the break, and they end up conceding 4 times in the second half.
Well, quite an incredible game, like a tennis score, obviously, 6-4. First set to Frankfurt. Like, I've never seen the start of a game like that. I think they were 3-0 up after 15 minutes, 4 after 20. It's ridiculous. And Frankfurt are a good team. I think Can Uzun is going to go very, very far. He's a wonderful talent. The next one they will sell in the kind of a Ekitike, Marmouche kind of money. Good for them. But Gladbach, who changed managers already, seemed to go a little bit better last week, just exploding in that first half.
4 goals in the last 20 minutes from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Dino Topmuller not happy.
No, but you can understand that.
No, there's nothing to understand. These guys conceded 4 goals to freaking St. Pauli last weekend. At home.
I know.
And now they concede 4 goals again?
Yeah, but because it was 6-0 up with like 15 minutes to go.
I honestly, if maybe I'm too old school for this. If I'm Gino Topmuller, double training sessions all week, you sleep at the training ground. Honestly, this is an embarrassment. And this really should be a worry. And you need to go to your leaders like Robin Koch. Yeah, great. You scored 2 goals. You need to sort these people out.
Lautaro Martinez shines and Francesco Pio Esposito scores at Inter win away to Cagliari 2-0. All well for Christian Kivu now?
All better for Christian Kivu.
Better. I mean, he said, nobody creates more than us.
He's right. Then people are saying, "Oh, look, you're copying Simone Inzaghi." He'd be stupid not to. Simone Inzaghi was really, really, really good, and it's not like Simone Inzaghi was fired. Simone Inzaghi walked out to chase the money in Saudi Arabia. So, look, Inter obviously much better when they have fit and happy Lautaro back and scores. Pio Esposito it's interesting. Like we talked about, is he the new Dzeko? Like, nah, let's take it easy with that one. But he is very big, and he's technically gifted, and he's strong.
And the weekend where him and Kamada score, both of them the same weekend, is good for
Italian football. Yeah, look, I think for me, I think he's developing more trust. He's talked about how he's known Esposito since he was 13 years old, because he, of course, previously was a part of the youth team, or he worked in Inter's academy. I like the fact that between Lautaro, Thuram, who is always reliable, rarely has a bad game, and Esposito, I think you can actually now start thinking about actually rotating a little bit up front, which is good. Don't look now, but Borussia Dortmund haven't actually lost a domestic game in more than 6 months. In fact, I think the only teams that have beaten them in the last 6 months are Real Madrid and Barcelona, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
They beat Mainz on the road 2-0. They remain 2 points behind Bayern. Are they actually getting their stuff together?
And Guerra assisted on the bench for this game. I guess was rested for the Champions League in midweek, probably. They probably didn't need him either. They still had a competitive team. Adeyemi scored again, get a bit in that consistency. They were very good. Defensively, offensively, they created chances. Julien Brandt when Julien Brandt is in a good day, the problem is that you never know when it's a good day. They create, so they were good. And obviously, they are somehow still keeping in touch with Bayern, the 2 points behind. I don't think they're good enough to really push them all the way until late in the season. But for now, it's the start of the season that you wanted. And to be fair, I think the top 5 in the Bundesliga are your top 5 best teams, right? So it's for the season. So it's where they should be. And the big boys are there, but everybody's chasing Bayern. Roma defeat Verona 2-0, and they join top of the table. Gab, is Gasperini making his mark?
No, because it doesn't look like anything like a Gasperini team. Now, his early Atalanta teams didn't necessarily look like Gasperini teams either, so we can give him props there. Dovbyk scored, which is nice because he's been criticized. He scored early, sent them on their way. But, guys, Milas Vilar, who I think has got to be one of the top 7, 8 keepers in Europe, he's certainly on his way to being one of the very best. He made some huge saves. Gift Orban, remember him?
Exactly.
He should have scored. He should have done better. And the XG was 0.94 to 1.38 against Verona, who are not a good club. Or rather, they're certainly not a big club.
Not big club.
So he has a lot to work on. Tyler Morton has a better weekend than his parent club, Jules, as he scores early to give Lyon a 1-0 win over Lille. I only got the highlights, and from what I could tell, I don't think they have an actual center forward. Is this more magic from Fonseca, who's still suspended?
No,
is this all the credit of John Textor and Textor time, even though he's supposedly not involved with the club?
No, Fonseca is not suspended anymore. He's back on the bench.
Is he?
Yeah. He's back on the bench now. That's his second game, I think.
So is it John Textor?
It's not John Textor. I mean, Tyler Morton has been a big thing since signing permanently from Liverpool. They decided not to play with the centre forward because they have one on the bench in Satriano, but they decided again to have kind of Tolisso as the false 9.
Well, Tolisso, the midfielder.
Yeah. So they play like that, which works.
Who's
for
the
them.
young guy that was with him?
Karim Mera, one of the academy, like bright future.
He's really young, but he's not a forward either.
No. He's kind of an attacking midfielder. But yeah, they have that fluidity. They won this game. This is a miracle, though. It's a smash and grab, massive. They didn't deserve to win this game at all. The referee was well dodgy. VAR didn't really work. I think Lille on another day could easily or should have scored 2 goals. Grafe in goal was great. But yeah, this is a lucky win from Lyon. But it's a win that counts. They're top of the table with PSG, and they've had a great start of the season. So well done to them.
I guess life has been very good to the very handsome Olivier Giroud. So once in a while, you have to accept these setbacks.
You're right.